Everybody already talked about how the Rambo video games and how much they would suck badly based on the movie. It's already been like nearly almost 40 years since they did the first one, 1982. But you're listening to is the soundtrack, like from the movie. And we already know how successful the movie was. And its sequels are pretty great. Fourth one, probably not the greatest one, but okay. The fifth one, glad they stopped making more of them. But seriously, we're gonna review the NES game based off the movie. That's not too violent like in the film, because like every classic games from the 80s and 90s would be too, and the word for it, violent, and for children. And like the last time I talked about, a game based off a movie was RoboCop, the arcade one, which nobody watched. But now we're going to talk about the Rambo NES game. And someday we'll talk about the PS3 on how much that one sucked. So enough dilly-dallying. Let me just skip this commercial. Oh, I won't show you what games that's going to come out yet. But I will talk about Rambo. We're already almost 2 minutes in and I haven't talked about the game yet. So here it is. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Rambo for the NES game by Activision. Yep, we're back to going to the Activision company that did most good games and bad games. And first time you actually get to see the title of word heard of all video game swearing. Wait for it. Well, in the title he said hell. This game already kind of relates to Legend of Zelda too, the way he moves. This game's current, the music's not half bad, but you'll be hearing that almost a lot in the gameplay. Let me turn it down a little bit so you can hear me. Unlike in the movie, that Rambo's job is him going on to warfare, remembering his past, and assassinate pretty much cops and other crooks in the film. So I guess that would have been too violent in the show for kiddies from the 1980s. Anyways, your basic weapon is using punching, stabbing, rolling explosives. And I do remember Rambo did not fight any snakes or any foes, or have a woman help a woman in dental distress. There's not much else to say about the background. Sometimes there'll be two different colors. Green, gray, that's pretty much it. And Rambo's gameplay is, word for it, strangely enough, of it had to exist. It's for lots of money. Not to mention, can be somehow longer, or to be less than 50 or 40 minutes. If you don't know fast forward, or the gameplay, you could probably be in it in 30 minutes. Like any classic video game, you get platforming, and every time you murder a few enemies here and there, you pick up weapons, unlimited supplies of arrows, guns, grenades. Have a little bit of health and lives you got to collect. And it can be a straightforward game as long as you have to know what you're supposed to do. Not to mention you have to fight off a few Marines and complete each mission. So basically this game is kind of based off the second Rambo movie. You end up in a warfare. And again, I do remember Rambo was wearing fully dark green color to blend into the environment, not fully the red color. I would say this is not the best game out there, just like any game, even from the classic early 80s and 90s when they keep on making games based off movies, can be a good or bad idea. This is basically a bad idea to not make games based off films, to make you almost waste your time and energy to think it's gonna be good. It's like what the AVGN says, what were they thinking when they came up with this? And someday I'll talk about the live-action Rambo movie. You might not find this game quite enjoyably fun, even though I never played it before, but I'm pretty sure there might be a few good Rambo games in the near future I'll talk about. I had to listen to some guys that reviewed it. The Drink Bear guys that talked about it. All I can say is this game deserves to be left behind the past. As like most other weird forgotten games, and he just keeps shooting that guy and this head's gone getting bigger. Anyways. Rambo for the NES game is not really awful, but it's still a pretty bad game, aimed to be based off a film that doesn't show too much blood or gore, because this is meant for real kids. Don't get me wrong, like every time I talk about, well, not every time, but you get my point. When I talk about like games based off movies, especially the last one I talked about not too long ago, well, you can tell this will probably not be that memorable to other label games based off movies cliches. If I were you, I'd rather stick with playing Contra. So I give Rambo for the NES game a below average of 3.9 out of 10. At least the graphics are okay. Even though there's nothing in the background, just plainly blue. But what you expect from an old game from the late 80s. As long as you're picking up items and all that stuff, you'll succeed in winning this game. So let's see what the ending looks like, shall we? So I can wrap this up. Get into the chopper quick. Goodbye, Ram. And just like that, I'm out. Thanks for watching. You like and subscribe. And someday I'll talk about the very first Rambo live-action movie. And I will talk about the other movies in the near future. Especially that awesome soundtrack you just heard, Long Road. See you then, folks.